Yeah, thank you ladies for jumping on. It's Monday night. It's how we do. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time, or we appreciate you taking the time to be here. And we have something we're going to do a little bit different, more casual, because we want to include you and save more time so that you get first dibs to practice. And I think this is like the biggest thing, because a lot of the times we'll say like, okay, we'll teach something or a new skill or wherever it may be. And then sometimes we leave it for like a tomorrow or this week, I'm going to do it this week. But this is where we want to ask a few of you to jump on board and to practice live on this call. So today's call, we're going to jump right in. It's going to be about sharing your story on social media. And there are some of you who are bomb at it here. So we wanted to see, there's so many of you who have been good at it, but maybe you're going to gain more inspiration on it as we talk about a structure. Or maybe you have been on the other side of it. You're like, I've been stuck. I don't know. I have the feelings, but I don't know how to put it on a post. I don't know how to make it into or put it in on a piece of paper type of thing. So we want to give you the structure. We want to give you the inspiration, but we want to also tell you why it's important, because as you share your story, it's going to allow people to relate to you. It's going to allow people to relate and connect with you, and it's going to allow people to appreciate you. So by the time that you message them or send them a connecting message, or by the time you send them an invite, they've already known, oh my goodness, I read her story and she struggled with depression or she struggled with anxiety, and I completely related to that. So when you talk to her, she knows a part of what you've struggled with. And so everyone has a story. And I think that at the beginning, sometimes we may feel like, I don't have a story. I'm just doing a fitness thing. But I want to encourage you, everyone has a story. So a few things to kind of write down, and I hope you have a piece of paper and a pen, because I want to share with you 5 questions that will be good to give you as guidelines. The first question is going to be, what first drew you to Beachbody? What first drew you to Beachbody? The second question is going to be, what specific things convinced you it was a right choice? What specific things convinced you it was a right choice? Number 3, what are your goals? What are your current goals? To lose weight, to eat healthy, to have what are your goals? Number 4, what do you hope Beachbody will do for you? And number 5, how has Beachbody changed your life? And I like these set of questions because there's a lot of us who are in the journey still. Like we're not at the final destination, or maybe you're a new coach and you're like, I don't have like a full program yet, so there's it's important to say that sharing your journey and your vision of where you want to go is important, because that's also part of your story. So Karina and Christina, if you ladies want to jump in to add onto this, as to using these questions and applying them to posts or stories, and how does that look like?
Okay, so I think one of the major reasons why we do this and why you have to write this out is because when you're posting on social media, you want to trigger that emotional feeling that other people are dealing with right now. You're here, you're at this spot, you're probably on in the journey, there's multiple levels. So you're ahead of other people already that are following you. There's people that are barely starting their journey. So what you want to do is trigger that emotional connection with those people. And this is why it's so important to learn how to share your story in a way that's storytelling and not so much like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's more of just like letting it flow. And that takes practice. Like for a lot of people, writing and this skill of writing and skill of drafting posts is not a natural thing for us. At least for me, it wasn't. I was horrible at sharing my story, but you practice and you get better and you adjust your story a little bit. So I don't want you to ever compare your step 3 to somebody's step 20. You know, I mean, I've been critiquing the way I share on social media for 7 years already. Karina and Jazz even longer. And so I don't, for me, like I see a lot of people get intimidated to be able to write like that when it takes time and it takes practice. Anybody else want to touch upon that?
So I think your story is going to have a bunch of levels to it. And like Jazz said, you're going to have a part of your story. Maybe if you just started, the Shakeology is a big part of your story. If you just started, probably actually having a workout, having the community, like those are parts of your story. And then as you've been doing this for longer, you're going to have layers, but if you sit down, if you take time to write all of this out, you'll see that you in your story have so many posts that you could create and so many different ways that you could share your story just based on where you are right now. You're never going to sit down and you could, but it would be like a book if you're going to write down every single way your life has changed. I've been a coach for 9 years. My life has changed in every way possible. It would take me forever to write that down. No one would want to read it in one sitting, but I can break that down into a bunch of little posts so that I always have a bank to pull from so that I can have that, like your story is the connective tissue where people are going to relate themselves and see themselves in your story. I got to go to Marketing Impact Academy 2 months ago. And there was a speaker and I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Rory. And he talks about his big thing was storytelling and how to share your story and how to post and how to create content. And he talked about how, you want to sell the problem you can solve, not the product that you have. So like, think about that. What problems are you solving? And you want to make sure you're talking about the problem often. Because sometimes, like I said, I've been a coach forever, right? So I just figure that everybody knows that Shakeology is awesome. And I only look at the positive side, but I forget to remind people of, like some people struggle with constipation or energy or, like before I was able to do this full time, I had to go to work and work 60 hours a week some weeks. And it was terrible. And sharing that ugly side of it is really important because there's so many people out there that are right there. And when you share that part and then show them how you got to this other side, they can really find hope through your story. And that's kind of the point, is you want to show hope through what you've been through.
And to go upon that, like, when you come up with all these different levels for yourself, for your story, and like you can pick and choose, then you can go through your pictures on your phone that you've taken and find the cute ones of yourself that are like bright and clear. And then you might have to filter them a little bit. And then you can just, it doesn't have to be a post like where you're like right now, like in the present moment. You can choose a picture from 2 weeks ago, last month that can go with this story. So just keep that in mind when you're drafting out these posts. Is like, you don't have to worry about having a picture now. It's more about having that content and then finding a picture to pair it together. And it doesn't have to be at this moment. You can use pictures at any time that you've taken at any moment.
So with that, I think with the exercise that Jazz wants to have us do, I just wanted to remind you guys that we're doing the coach sneak peek right now, right? And Jazz, myself, and Christina are hopping in live today to share our stories. Ours are going to be a little bit longer just because, like I said, we've been doing this forever and we're co-running this, so we're doing this a little bit longer. But on Thursday, I posted and I asked who would like to volunteer and share their 3-minute story. So this is how you would craft it. And I had a set of questions in there and I noticed that there was some confusion. So I just wanted to clear that up while we're all on here live. But I had created, it's kind of the questions that Jazz shared. So it's just the flow. Like, how do you come up with the story that you're going to share in those 3 minutes? So it just kind of goes like, before Beachbody, what was my life like? Like, what was wrong? What was the problem that I need to solve? What was my fear? What was my objection? Like, what was the thing that I wanted to overcome? Why did I decide that coaching was the thing that I was going to give a try? And then how has my life changed since then? So that's how you would structure the story that you're going to share in our sneak peek. And then again, if you like, let's try to make that 3 minutes. If you want, I know that when I first started, I wanted a lot of like reassurance. I wanted somebody to tell me, yeah, that sounds good. So if you feel like you need that, you can so message Christina, Jazz, or myself, and like even do a little voice memo. Let us know what you want to talk about, and just, of course, we're going to be like, yeah, that's awesome. But if you feel like you need that, then message us. Jazz, were you gonna like tears?
I tapped in. I was like, sure now.
Go.
Okay, do yourself. Big girl steps. One of the things that I wanted to say, just kind of an example today, right? I started to share how I shared my story on my story on my IG stories, and I had been messaging with a girl back and forth. And in our script, as for us as coaches, I was on the step where I was about to send her the video of what nutrition program she would be interested. So I was going to send her the Ultimate Portion Fix. And she was about to watch it. I sent it to her, and then I posted me talking about how I struggled with my with depression and postpartum and all that stuff. So it was like I mentioned, I sprinkled in a few elements of my story. And so when she saw the third party video of from Beachbody saying what the Ultimate Portion Fix is, then she saw my story. But when she messaged me, she was like, I love the portion containers because I really need a structure for my busy life. And she was like, but what I really loved was hearing you talk about your story, hear you talk about how you struggled. She was like, because I'm in the exact situation today. And I was like, that's perfect, because I think that's exactly our message today, because I want all our team to get messages exactly to say, I know the program that you're suggesting, but I want to do it with you because I know you have paved the way. I know that you have been doing the programs, and because I trust you. And so what right now we're going to ask you, it's uncomfortable, right? Because you might get off, like, unmute yourself right now, but there's a purpose attached to it, because the purpose is that you're going to connect to women on a heartfelt level, on a level that you are really going to help women like you. And when you get to that place where you get to say, like, we have the same story, and it just, yes. Perfect. So let's unmute. Hi. Let's unmute, and then let's have someone be bold to say, all right, this is kind of my story, and let's craft it right here so that we can help the team as a collective. That way, when you get to do it at home, you have an idea. Who wants to go first?
I want to go down.
I'll pick.
Hi.
I'll pick. We're gonna pick.
Hi.
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 I see someone doing huffing and puffing.
Hi.
Dude, I pick someone's face so I can call them out. Do it. Do it.
I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
That was me puffing and tuffing. All right, let me pull up the questions again. So you said just to do something quickly based on like the questions you guys just mentioned, correct? Okay. So what drew me to Beachbody was number one, it was completely different from I want to say like Herbalife or any other I guess, product that, you know, people were sharing with me because of the community. So that's something that really, really drew me to like the Beachbody and to Jazz specifically, because I know that she was like, you know, she was plugged into the church where I was going, and so I just needed that community. So number 2 is what convinced me that it was the right thing. I guess what convinced me that it was the right thing was when I was starting to feel so amazing after my workouts. Like, you know, sometimes it's hard to work out alone in a room and you even begin to yawn. I know I have, you know. But then again, like as I was pushing myself and I was drinking Shakeology and I was working out, like after that workout, I knew that that was something that I needed, because the gym was just not working out for me. So I know that working out from home, I can dance in my room. I could do whatever I wanted and work out however crappy I look. And it was just like the right thing that worked for me. And then my goals specifically then, I guess it was just to lose weight. And I have lost about 35 to 40 pounds since I was been doing Beachbody. So I've actually gotten the lowest, which is 140. 140 pounds with Beachbody, and I have not been at that weight since I was like in high school or middle school. I guess something that I hope that Beachbody would do for me was literally give me a whole new purpose. And I feel like I'm literally like on fire for it and living that purpose as of now. And man, I think the biggest thing that has changed for me ever since I joined Beachbody, which has been a journey, it has not been an overnight transformation. And Jasmine, and I think a lot of you can testify to this, but has been like my mindset. The way like my mind now, like literally the way I see things and the way I look at my health and fit. It's not just about looking good. It's not just about, you know, fitting into a certain dress size or a certain jean size, but it's about feeling great within yourself. It doesn't matter like what pant size you're wearing or what's your weight. It's about literally like feeling amazing and being able to share that with other people that are going through it themselves. So that's me.
Thank you for sharing. I want to see a raise of hands if you can relate to one piece of her story that she just said. That's just on this call. Like, that's the power of your story. And right now you said it and like you're answering questions, but that's so beautiful that you've shared so many elements, because each question I feel like you can dive deeper and then you can go into like crafting more different posts. But I think that this is a good way for you to practice, and then the more that you practice, the more that it will come easier to say in 15-second clips, you know, and then you'll say different parts, and that way you get to know, okay, this is my story, boom. Or when you meet someone and you have like, what is it you call it, Karina? The elevator's pitch, or, and you'll get better with practice. But I feel like it's amazing that you said it right now and you were huffing and puffing. You're like, okay, here I go. But we're here for you. This is a loving space. And like, we just raised our hands because we've all felt something about what you just shared, and that we're just one slice of a community, and there's just so many more who are literally just waiting for you to talk about it so that they can say, I need that. I need to connect with this one person. All right, who's going to go next?
Can I say something really quick? So I think you did the hard part, right? Like that was hard to like sit here in front of us and like try to figure out what your story is. So now you can make that into 2 posts this week. You could like piece 2 different things so that it doesn't go to waste. Like you don't share it with us and like, that's awesome. But now how are you going to share it on your social media? So maybe you can create 2 different posts this week that you're going to share, where you're sharing a piece of that story. And then today or, you know, whenever, like make sure that you share that on your stories and then invite to our coach sneak peek that we've got going on right now. Because I think sometimes we think that our story has to be about leaving our job and making a full-time income, but so many people can't even picture that yet. But the fact that like you're able to have a completely different mindset in just your health and fitness journey, like that's a huge deal that so many people need. So the more that you share that and you could use that to invite to our coach sneak peek. Okay, who else?
I'll go next. Okay. So first question, what drew me to Beachbody was seeing how happy my coach was, just seeing her post all the time and being all happy. Like I wanted that because I was so unhappy at that time that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted, just to have that smile that she had in her face. What convinced me that was the right choice, I actually got results because I tried every diet out there. You name it, I tried it and nothing worked. I lost a couple of pounds, but then I regained it back. And it was just because I would stop eating things that I couldn't eat tacos, and that was like my main thing. Like, come on, like. So like with Beachbody, that's what I share the most. It's like you can still eat all your Mexican food and still lose weight. So my goal at that time was mostly just to lose at least 20 pounds and kind of just stay accountable. What changed my life with Beachbody? No, where am I? What did I hope for Beachbody to do for me? Kind of just stay accountable and continue on with my journey because of the community that I didn't have nowhere else. That's why I'm still here. And the way that has changed my life completely is like I'm more confident. I actually could talk because I would not do this right now. I could actually talk and not like be shy about it, just be myself and really don't care if people like me or they don't. Like people are going to stick with me if they like the way I am. So if they don't, then they could unfollow me. But and then being like a better wife, better mother, being a better leader, and just believing in myself. That's like the main thing. And I've actually lost over 75 pounds with Beachbody. That's why I'm still here.
Oh my goodness. I think like you guys are fueling me because I'm like, you know, when you see before and afters, like hearing the stories here are just, you come out like after you finish these calls and you're just like, I just heard a girl on our team lose all this weight and her confidence level, and you hear the like when you hear these testimonies, girls, these are your people. This is your team. It's one thing to see like, yes, transformations from like Beachbody corporate, but you got to remember like we're your tribe, you know, and we are your sisters that are in the trenches with you and doing the workouts, you know. So thank you, Cindy, for sharing. I feel like, again, let's give a hands up if you related to anything that she said, because I'm going to use two hands. I was like, yes, preach. That's amazing. It was good. Do you ladies have anything to say, Christina or Christina? Feedback. I think, yeah.
I don't really have anything just other than that was amazing. And like I think this is a really good reminder that we need to share this a lot more. And like at some point we also need to figure out how we can share each other's, like record little clips of us telling our own stories so we can share them on social media. Cause like Jazz said, you see a before and after picture and they're amazing, but actually hearing the person speak like gives you chills. Anybody else? Oh, what?
No, I was just going to say that just like you said to Sandy, the homework assignment is that you don't sit on this, is that you go with power because your story is powerful, that you post it with that authority and confidence, and then you do it more consistently. And it becomes you just say it in different ways every day because it's who you are. It's your story. So don't sit on it. Like we want to see everyone's stories and be like, all right, I see it. And then
what I'm practicing I'm trying to get in the habit of doing this is getting it so succinct where I go on, whenever I go live, like on Facebook or when I'm doing IG stories, I say that's like 2 or 3 sentences that describe me, describe my story. So I don't know if anybody else is working on that too, because I see like all these top coaches that have their story like down pat. Like first one comes to mind is Amy Silverman. Her story is like, I was a broke ass waitress, you know, working long nights and now I'm living the best life of my life. I don't know if that makes sense.
We get it.
Like, why did I get tongue-tied? But she has her story like succinct, so she says it like almost every single day. So when people are constantly watching you on social media, they know your story, they know what you're about. And so I'm trying to do that for my own story.
So I'm in a Josh Coates mastermind, and somebody asked this question the other day where they're like, I don't want to feel boring and repetitive, and like I'm saying the same story over and over, and people are going to stop listening and they're going to tune me out. And Josh is like, this is what every single top coach does. Anybody successful retells their story over and over and over. And he's like, it's because, so your kids, a lot of us are moms on here, we have to tell our kid, this is how you brush your teeth. And you tell them over and over and over until they learn it. And we're trying to teach our people that are following us a new way of thinking, a way of believing in themselves, a way that a lot of people aren't taught to think anymore. And the only way that we're going to teach that is by repeating the same story over and over and over. And it doesn't get boring, because think about all those top coaches. You still follow them. You still read all their stuff, even though you've read it before. You're like, oh, she said it this way this time. And what a cool, like we still follow them. So don't get that into your head either, that like you can only say, you don't want to just do this week and then not tell your story again for like a month. Like this is something that we need to be doing constantly.
Yeah, and for me, like I'm always a work in progress because I'm never going to be perfect. And like some weeks I totally forget, I dropped the ball. I'm like, oh, damn it. Like I totally screwed up. I got to get back on track. I got to start sharing my story every single week. So just know that happens to everybody, and don't beat yourself up if that has happened to you in the past.
Okay, one more. Let's hear it, ladies. One more. All right.
Can you hear me?
Oh, good. I was about to pick some.
You're like, oh dang, out of nowhere, out of the cut. Just kidding.
Let's hear it.
Okay. You probably can't see me, right? You can't see me. No. Okay, good. Just kidding. So what drew me to Beachbody first? I actually was at work and I was like super overweight. I was sick. I would smoke cigarettes. My feet were swollen. Everything was all messed up. I worked 2 jobs. You know, I was a single mom because me and my husband were split up at the time. And I saw an infomercial, I can't say it, with Hip Hop Abs. I think it was back in like 2013 or 2014. And I started doing it. I got super healthy. I stopped smoking because I couldn't work out. Like if I'm smoking cigarettes, I would get out of breath. And then I met Cindy on Facebook because I didn't know who she was before. And she told me, well, you know, you're already posting about it. Just, you know, you want to help people, just do it. So that's what drew me to Beachbody first. I guess the infomercial, and then like watching how Cindy was working out and, you know, like helping so many people. I was like, I could do that too. I want to do that, you know, like it feels good to help other people. Like why be selfish? And if you have all this knowledge and you know how to do it, just share it, right? So that's part of my number 2. What specific things convinced me? It was like seeing how, you know, you just like talking to someone and showing them pretty much that there is this thing out there, you know, that you do not have to deprive yourself. You don't have to pop pills or drink shakes, and, you know, you can still eat regular food. That's what I felt was the right choice. Seeing people change and change their lives and transform pretty much. My goals. gosh, it's like an ongoing forever thing. It's hard, I guess, just because like I can't, I don't know my goals to stay at a healthy weight, and I really want to lower my body weight percentage, my body fat percentage down, so I can run faster, and be able to help as many people as I can while I'm trying to get there. What do you hope Beachbody will do for you? Oh, it's kind of selfish, but I like the feeling that I get when one of my clients messages me their before and afters. I like seeing them, and I don't know, like maybe it's selfish, like knowing, like them saying thank you, like that feeling that you help someone like lose weight and get to their goals. It's like, yay, like you actually feel like a genuine type of happiness for another person, I don't know, maybe it's selfish, but I like feeling that. And I hope to get, besides that, but I hope to be able to help my husband and be able to pay for my supplements and my races on my own, make something out of this side hustle. How has Beachbody changed your life? Gosh, completely. I met you guys, and you guys are awesome. Cindy, she's one of my really good friends. Yeah, you guys are great.
Thank you for sharing. Oh my goodness. I think that like there's so many things, like even how you said like that's not selfish. I think that's like the opportunity that we get to win. Like when you win, I win. And I think that's like the best thing ever, because we feel it amongst a team, but it's another layer of celebration when your girls also tell you like, I fit into a size pair of jeans that I was hiding in my closet and now I get to wear them. So that's not, I don't think it's selfish. I think that's amazing that you can partner with people and say like, you don't have to celebrate by yourself, girl, because I'm here cheering right beside you, so thank you for sharing, and I think it was amazing. Don't forget your homework assignment to post it this week. Do you guys want to add something?
Rosie, even in that story that you shared, like there were so many like little pieces that you can break out and share. Like the fact that you went from being a smoker to now your goal is to lose body fat percentage, not for looks, not for so you could run faster. Like that is such a big deal. Like that little piece is something that you should be sharing. And then the fact that I think a lot of us can relate. Like for me, I used to be an accountant and I didn't feel like I had purpose in that. I didn't feel fulfilled in that. I worked in a cubicle by myself, typing up numbers, and now we get to do something where we're literally changing people's lives, and that gives me so much purpose. And I wake up excited, and like you said, like checking my messages, especially from current clients, it's like it's exciting because you're like, what am I going to see today? Who's going to tell me that they did awesome? And I get what you're saying, because like it might sound so like I love getting a thank you from somebody. When somebody says, seeing your post changed my life, like that is everything. Like, well, that's why we're doing what we're doing. But I don't think it's selfish. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, like when I get more excited seeing my clients and like other teammates get results, that brings me fulfillment. Like being able to pass on tools that have not only changed my life, but also impacting other people, which I know is impacting their families and the way they're raising their kids, and how that domino effect happens. Like that brings me so much more excitement than my own before and afters. Like my own before and afters are cool, but seeing others, I was like, so it's on another level. I think that's the part where we forget to share about coaching. Like going back to, because we're have this what is coaching group, like that's a major selling point for us, to share about the coaching opportunity. Yeah, like the money and the free trips and extra income, like is all good, but like being able to be that catalyst for other people, that's on a whole other level.
And leading with that, I think, like Karita said, the group is in our team page, but if not, we can repost it tonight. And the group is a private Facebook group where Christina and Karina and myself are going to be today. We're going to talk about our stories. So if you also haven't heard our stories, go in there so that you can get to know where our chapter ones were as well, and what even drove us to press on and dream big and say, I'm gonna quit my job, because you have to know where we began and the transition, and with all our fitness programs and our families. And then tomorrow we're gonna be talking about how to earn income. So if you also are like, I would really know how we can explain this, watch it so that you get to know, so that you can also gain more knowledge as a coach. So watch that video. And then we're going to be talking. So every day there's going to be videos, and every day there's like a theme, and we have like a welcome post, and you can read that. And then at the end, it's going to be like our testimony days, where many of you will hop on and share your stories for 3 minutes, and you can practice. So I encourage you to make your stories, go on live today, or on your the post for the link to that group. I can't speak that. That link to the coaching info group is going to be in our team page, and then make your call to actions. So the way I said it today is I shared my story, and I made a call to action with a poll. And when I set the poll, those are the people that I'm going to invite them into the Facebook group. Now, to know that we go to bed every night and make sure that we're bossing it up, I really encourage us to bust out the business activity tracker, which is our Success Club system tracker. And sometimes we may feel like, okay, I did my Shakeology, I'm doing my vital behaviors, but this is basically, it allows you to know the missing holes in your business. And so that sometimes, like for me, I get cocky and I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm stuck. And I bust this out and I'm just like, oh, this is why, So wherever you are at in your business, this is your roadmap. This is your tool to always have in your desk. And Karina went like a deep dive into this. Karina, I don't know if you have it in front of you, if you can share a little bit about it. Oh, you don't. So can you share a little bit about what you did with it?
Yeah. So I went to just how I printed out the booklet. Is that what you mean? So I went to FedEx Kinko's. I've heard a lot of girls go to Staples, or like if you just want to print it at home and buy a little binder at Target or whatever and 3-hole punch it, you could do it that way. But I think creating a book that you can like hold in your hands is going to be game changing. For me, I'm like, when I'm done with this and this book is full, like my life's going to be different, right? Like if I invited that many people, then there's no other choice. Like my life is going to be different if I put in that work. So the way that I did it, because I am running and I decided that I want to maximize my time and I want a big leap this year as far as my income. I printed 5 of the contact sheets behind every single one of that top tracker page. So I'm filling out one entire page of invites every single day that I'm working. So 5 days a week. And already, so I did mine today. And when I'm done, I'm like, I am such a boss. I am so good. I am changing lives. I'm changing my own life. Like I feel that amazing, which gives me a lot of confidence in my posting, in my sharing, in my replying. Like it changes my mindset completely. So and you don't have to do a whole page. If you don't have time, you work full time and you can't do 36 invites a day, pick whatever number is going to make you feel really good. Like if you send out 10 a day and that's going to make you feel like a badass, then do that. But then it's also going to make you think like, oh man, I have 500 people looking at my stories every day. What am I going to do after that? And then what do I need to do to get more eyes on my page? And what do I need to do to get more people following me? Like it makes you think about all the things that you need to be doing. So I think it's really, really useful and important. And I hope that all of you guys create the little booklet because it's super cool. Oh, and I didn't say the prices. So for me, because I did part of it in color because things need to be pretty for me to do them. the whole booklet ended up costing like $25, but I know that a lot of people got it done for like 10, like around 10. It costs $6 to bind it and then to print out the sheets, and depending on how many sheets you're going to do, I just did it for a quarter. So I did, I think we have 11 weeks left this quarter. So you could just figure that out, figure out how many sheets you need behind it. And it's not this big expensive thing. And like I said, you could print it out at home, or those of you that work at offices, you could like sneak print them in out there. I used to do that all the time, and then just go get yourself like a super cheap binder somewhere. But it's game changing. Like even just for my confidence in this business, like, because our entire business is that tracker. Like, did you work out? Did you drink your Shaco? Did you do your personal development? Then did you do all the activities? And if you're doing that, then you're going to grow your business. And when you feel really excited and good about it, then you're just attracting more of that into your life.
I love that, Karina. I think I'm even more, I always get more encouraged to hear from women who are doing it, who are leaders in this company, and, you know, that keep it simple, you know, because I think sometimes we think like, what secret thing are you doing, Karina? What are the things are you doing, you know? And the fact that she's saying like, this is it. And then because she has more time, that the only step she's doing more is inviting by adding another sheet, you know? So yes, Christina, action kills fear. And with that, I guess that's it. Christina, do you want to say anything on that? No? Thank you guys for being on. Share your story, and remember to invite people into our coach sneak peek. That way they get to hear from more of our team. And if you do make a post, tag us, because we're there. We're your community. We're there to like and comment and support and to cheer you on, just like you would want your customers. We're your team, so we'll be there encouraging on your post. But yes, tag us so that we know, we see, hey girl, we see you did it. And then to wrap up this call, you guys know how to bust out those phones. Bust down. I want to say Tatiana. Oh, so inappropriate. All right. Say cheese. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Thank you guys. So, hold on. Tona. I saw it. Okay, girls are jumping back on. Say cheese. I like it. It's like, oh no, I did it. And my face. All right. Thank you guys. And I'll see you guys on our team page. Bye.
Bye.